What's up, y'all? Long time no see. You know what I mean? I'm back, and we're gonna talk about the state of play because some things are happening, some things were announced, and I'm a big PlayStation Sony fan. You know what I mean? I play on PC now currently, but ever since I was a kid, I played from the PS2 onward. You know what I mean? I never owned a Xbox. You know what I mean? Not saying there's like a part of like the console war thing. It's just that I just never had the money to get one, or when I had money, I just stick to what I know. You know what I mean? Shout out to High School Musical. But anyway, the state of play happened, and and Sony was hyping up the state of play. They had countdowns, they had movie theaters you can go to, by the way, and all this stuff like that. I was out and about living life, so I didn't know the state of play was happening today until my brother was like, "Did you know the state of play was today?" And I was like, "I had no idea, whatever." Right? And so basically, I just finished watching it, and I want to give my thoughts on mostly the main two announcements, the main two things that happened in the show that everyone's been talking about. Okay, Marvel token looks fire though. You know what I mean? I might get that to put BTA to my friends. You know what I mean? But it looks nice. It looks nice. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? I might be if they have Bullseye in this game, I'm getting it. I need that one, but that's besides the point. But anyway, let's get to the main things here. Marvel's Wolverine. And by the way, I'm gonna warn y'all. This is probably not gonna be the take that y'all don't like to hear, but hey, this is my take. This is how I feel. So if you don't like that, whatever. I don't care. Because some people get so shocked when someone on the internet doesn't have the same opinion as them. It's kind of weird. Anyway, Marvel's Wolverine, I don't care for it. Y'all can keep this because it's just like, how would I put this? You go to a restaurant and you order a different sandwich, but it's like Insomniac. I take it as Taco Bell, right? Taco Bell has a tons of different items, but it's the same ingredients. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You know what I mean? You know what you're getting when you go to Taco Bell. If you want the same thing that's in a burrito is the same thing that's in a taco, the same thing that's in a quesadilla, that's in your loaded fries. It's the same ingredients. It all tastes the same. You know what I mean? Like some things are missing ingredients, some things are added special ingredients with different sauces, but at the bare minimum, they are the same. And the Insomniac Marvel games are the same way from what it looks like. And I got the same feeling as I got when they did the Spider-Man State of Play, where they showed gameplay for Marvel Spider-Man 2, which at the time had me hyped. I was like, okay, this is cool, whatever. But when you see from the HUD to everything, where like it looks like the same thing similarly, but it's more scaled down because it's Wolverine. You're not gonna be in it. And they didn't go into whether there's going to be a massive open world or whatever, but based on how the gameplay was shown off, I think it's going to be more linear. And it's going to be like, okay, we'll go from section to section. Similar to how, like, The Last of Us Part 2 did, where it was like, okay, it's not a giant open world, but there's big environments that you'll go to, and it could be stealth, there could be this, that, and the third, right? You know what I mean? Combat and stuff like that. And so, I don't really care for that because I am a fan of Wolverine. I am the fan of the X-Men. And we're going to get into the story beats of what they say in this thing that really upsets me, but we'll get to that later. But the one thing that is, you take away the traversal of Spider-Man, and I'm not expecting Wolverine to be swinging through the city or anything like that, right? Take away the traversal part, which is a big aspect of the Spider-Man game, right? Then you have to focus purely on the combat. And it looks like the combat, outside of, yes, there's gory executions, but it just looks like an R-rated version of Spider-Man. If I'm not, like, this sounds crazy to say, and I know people are going to be typing in my comments anyway, talking about how, you don't know what you're talking about, but it's based on the gameplay. It's literally just, okay, we're going to, let's say tap square, right? Tap square to attack or whatever. You get your meteor up, you're able to do the special move to insta-kill him. Or if you hold down the L1 or L2 button and press triangle, square, X, or circle, you could do a special move. That's basically what it's going to be. And it's like, I played this already. This is literally Marvel Spider-Man with a different color paint. And it's okay for me, and it's like the over-the-shoulder, third-person, hack and slash that's copied, like, you know what I mean? God of War did it, Last of Us, all these different cinematic story games where it's gonna be like, okay, the story's gonna be 15 hours, and you're gonna be doing the same thing for the 15 hours. I don't care for it. I'm over it. I'm being honest with you. I wanted something a little bit different. Not saying it had to be super dramatic and change because it is a Wolverine game, but I expected something more. And it's like, I know people are like very easily impressed based on the reaction to this game, and it's like, okay, but if I wanted to experience this, I can literally just go play X-Men Origins Wolverine, because it's literally, it gets me the same itch that I feel. If I want to play a bloody, gory Wolverine, I can go play that has, it seems to be a better art style. I'm sorry, I'm being one of those. It seems like, because I don't like the whole militaristic superhero thing. And so I did say we're gonna get to a little bit of the story beats of this thing. I don't like the fact of how in this universe The Doctor Strange exists. If this isn't the same, this has been. I'm pretty sure this is the same universe as Spider-Man. But in this universe, Doctor Strange and the Avengers exists. Spider-Man exists and has been very prominent. And you're telling me the X-Men don't exist? That doesn't make any sense. Fantastic Four exists in this universe, but this doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. Like it doesn't make any sense why we're doing a let's start these characters later in life, but they haven't had any of their none of their like main parts outside of their origin has been done yet. So you're telling me Wolverine has just been like Wolverine you could do if you were doing like a time period piece where it's like, okay, we're gonna start in World War II, we're gonna play through the whole origin story of Wolverine and get to modern day where he's part of the X-Men, where he's doing all these things and stuff like that, right? I'm not saying this should be an X-Men game, but there is a way to do it where it makes sense. But if you're telling me he's in modern day where all these superheroes and costume stuff exist and the X-Men don't exist and Jean Grey looks like she's in her 40s, it's like what are we like? This doesn't make any sense to me. Like, and I don't like the Insomniac style because not gonna lie, all these characters look ugly. I'm not. And if you're one of those people that are sitting there on your incel pipeline or a soapbox talking about women should be attractive, this and that, I'm not trying to have this argument. I'm not here for that. I don't care for that. But it's like when you have these characters, they don't even look appealing. I don't care to play this. This is like okay to me. Like I will happily watch the Brad play through this and experience the story that way. None of this, and I have a PS5. I have the Spider-Man 2 edition with the Venom paint on it. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm looking for a game to play on this system, but this is not really doing anything for me because I can get something better or that scratches the same itch from on PC basically, right? So there's my thoughts on that. Wolverine, I don't really care for it. Then we get to God of War Le Fay, or however you pronounce that. And my stance of it, once again, I'm not trying to. This is not no incel hate women, blah 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 blah. I do not care for this game at all, and I'm not gonna buy it. And I might just watch someone do a MK Ice and Fire all cutscenes thing. I might just go watch that because it's literally just let's try to make God of War not about Kratos. And it's like I get it, it's his wife, but I don't care for his wife. We haven't experienced any connection to his wife outside of her being a major plot point to show why he did what he did in God of War 18 and God of War Ragnarok, you know what I mean? So like there is story relevance of Faye, and you see, especially in Ragnarok, which I'm pretty sure that's what they were trying to tease that the next game would be about Faye or whatever, because they had the whole side mission about what happened to this world that Faye and Thor fought to a standstill. And I get it. Kratos said she's one of the best warriors he's ever seen, this and that third. I understand that. But at the same time, I don't care about this character. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to a God of War game to play someone I don't care for. I don't like, and I know people are gonna be like, well, give this game a chance, you might care for Faye afterwards. I'm not spending $70. Like, now we're getting to the point of, since y'all want to increase the prices of the game, and it'll all go back to this, and how bad the economy is currently, I'm not going to waste my game experimenting with something I don't care for, right? And I'm sticking to what I know. Shout out to High School Musical, you know what I mean? And so you're sitting here, you're trying to tell me that, oh, the story is going to be about Faye in the afterlife. And yes, there might be a possibility that other gods from the previous God of War games might show up and fight Faye. But at the same time, why do I care about that? Because at the end of the day, the reason why I like God of War is because of Kratos. Kratos, his story, his journey is interesting to me. I like that. If you're going from this savage warrior and monster to a loving father, that storyline, I'm here for it because I spent so much time caring about this character. But if you're telling me the next sequel to the game is a character that we've only heard things about and only seen 1 to 2 cutscenes about, I don't care for. I would rather have an Atreus game. If you do a time jump and Atreus is an adult and it's like, okay, he's searching for the giants, he's his own man, you know, him and the chick that they that was in Ragnarok that he was kind of having a crush on or whatever is together, and you have a warrior love story, we can do that because I've had time with Atreus. I would have felt the same way if they was like, let's do a spin-off game where we're having a game about Thor. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is cool and all, but like, I'm still not playing. I don't care. I'm here for either the main lead or the other lead that we spent so much time developing and bonding with. I'm not like, and so am I going to spend $70 to play another slow walking hack and slash over the shoulder, you know, third-person action game where majority of the gameplay is just watching cutscenes? I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I'm okay with that. Because it's like, I'm not going to say this game is an asset flip. I'm not going to say this game looks garbage because it looks well made, but it's just not for me. and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm gonna throw $70 for a sequel for a game that's not about the main character of the game. And I know people are gonna say, well, is it possible to have a game without Kratos and still call it God of War? I would say yes if they put more work into it. Like, let's say Faye was more present in the story. Like, you know, you got to see the flashbacks of how they bonded and the reason why he's so he's following her lead and doing all these things even though he don't want to do it in 2018. Or if you do that in Ragnarok and you really establish like why he loves her, how they met and stuff like that, you know, even though that game already was bloated, it also bloated and rushed at the same time, you know what I mean? I would understand it. Then we'd be like, okay, I'm interested to see how she is. I don't give a fuck about Faye. I'll be honest with you. I would, honestly, if you want to do a spin-off game with a female lead, have the chick that led the Valkyries that was helping you in Ragnarok, because then you can have the story of how she felt she got married to Odin, how Odin betrayed her, and the whole thing like that, and how like the Valkyries felt, and then you had and reason why you had to fight them in 2018. There's a story that you could do, and it's like a niche spin-off game. You could do that. Okay, cool. I'll be there for that, because we actually have a character we have some sort of relationship with that is like, okay, this is interesting to me. I probably wouldn't buy it day one, but this is okay. I'm not buying this Faye game at all. I don't care for this. I don't care about this fucking cube and his sword. I don't care, okay? And the fact that they have what's his name? Jack Quaid or whatever as the cube, and they're pushing that like this. It's a selling point online. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And so what do we, let's be honest here. Everyone who's saying, oh my god, the gods from the fallen gods from the Greek and Norse pantheon that Kratos is killed is going to show up here. You're going to fight him, right? Okay. I would rather fight the other, like, I would rather go back and fight them in the gameplay that I actually liked, which was more of the original trilogy. Like, I don't care for this, you know what I mean? And I really hope the remake doesn't go this way, where it's like a over the shoulder, you know what I mean, slow pace hack and slash game, because I see that they put the jump back, you know what I mean, you can jump in this game finally, right? That's cool, that's okay, but this style of gameplay I don't want the original trilogy to be either. So it's like, either I want a remake where like you make the original game and you redo the graphics from the ground up and you just keep that same scale, I'm here for it. But if you're changing that into this, I don't care for it either. And it's kind of feeling like that Sony is telling these companies that's like, hey, y'all made this very successful game. It was a hit. Y'all made a sequel that was pretty good, but not as good as the first one. We want to take this franchise, we want to make it into as many sequels as possible to get as much money out of it as possible. And if that's where God of War is going, where it's going to be like every few years we want to get a sequel to God of War, where one game is going to be about, maybe Kratos is not going to be, it's going to be someone else, and then we're going to spin it to something else, y'all can keep this. I'm going to be honest with you. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. I'll be in the comments down below, whatever. And if you want me to talk about something else, just put in the comments. I mean, we can talk about the Punisher stuff and all stuff like that. Just tell me what you're interested in and we'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.